The Boko Haram military campaign is said to have displaced at least 1.5 million people, while more than 2,000 were killed last year alone. Besides the 200-plus girls who were kidnapped by Boko Haram in the middle of last year, questions have started to arise as to how prepared authorities are in thwarting the attacks. Martin Hewitt is senior researcher from the Institute for Security Studies, and we spoke to him regarding Boko Haram. We started off by asking him how complex Boko Haram was.
The most serious group in Africa and in the world. I think there is no group that can compete with Boko Haram in terms of the magnitude of the terrorist attacks that the group is committing. But if you look at recent attacks, it clearly demonstrates a new trend, which shows that the group is actually increasing. It's actually intensifying its activities in Nigeria and Cameroon, contrary to predictions that the group was being eliminated. There were some predictions just a few weeks back that Boko Haram was nearing its end. But what we see now is increasing attacks, increasing magnitude of victims, which shows that the group is growing bigger and bigger than we thought.
Now, is Nigeria and Cameroon, are they both well equipped to deal with these attacks?
I think Boko Haram is a global phenomenon. This is no longer a Nigerian or Cameroonian or even a West African or Central African phenomenon. This is a global phenomenon. If you look at the way Boko Haram carries out its attacks, it belongs to the global terrorist movement. Al-Qaeda, the Islamic State, Boko Haram is part of them, which means that these groups, they share intelligence, they share activities, they share support. Boko Haram receives sometimes support from these groups. It's even sometimes the strategies in terms of how to carry out attacks influences Boko Haram activities. So I don't think that we should limit this to a Nigerian or a Cameroonian or even a West African or African phenomenon. Boko Haram is a global phenomenon. It means that if we are serious to combat the group, it requires the international community to do so. And this is why I support the call of the President Paul Biya of Cameroon that Boko Haram is clearly beyond the two countries. It is a phenomenon that if we want to defeat it, it will take the whole international community. And I think what we have seen from Nigeria and Cameroon, these two countries are clearly not capable of defeating Boko Haram alone. First of all, we have to know the history that these two countries have never faced this phenomenon before, particularly at this magnitude. So it has taken them aback, and they were never prepared. They don't have the strategies, they don't have the systems in place to combat a group of this scale.
Now, what action does the global community have to take? What needs to happen from the global community?
I think the global community has to do a lot. This includes advising these countries in terms of the strategies. It includes providing manpower. It includes providing the resources, the equipment that they need, even intelligence equipment, spying equipment that these countries need, the weapons that these countries need to fight Boko Haram, that these two countries do not have enough. We've seen that clearly. And also the strategies that these two countries or these countries need to take. The international community, especially those countries that have witnessed terrorism for a long time or have been combating terrorism for a while now, they can bring their experiences on board to advise Nigeria and Cameroon in terms of how to go about combating Boko Haram. But if this is to be left to these two countries, I don't think that we'll see the end of Boko Haram soon. And it might not only end in these two countries. It is a phenomenon that could grow beyond West Africa and even the larger Africa as a whole and the world at large.
Now, Martin, looking at Nigeria specifically, are they going to be able to go to the polls next month? Can elections take place in the current environment?
I think Nigeria will go to the polls. This is not the first time that terrorism has threatened Nigerian elections. What might make the difference this time is if Boko Haram were to go to Abuja to carry out attacks heavy attacks that could really impair the country from monitoring or carrying out a clean, fair and transparent elections in the country, then we might see some postponement or anything of that sort. But Nigeria is used to this. They are used to all sorts of stumbling blocks to elections, and they've always overcome them. And I think that they will be able to overcome the threat that Boko Haram poses to these current elections. So I have no fear that the elections will go ahead, but I'm sure that there will be violence, but the violence will not be to the extent that the elections will not hold.
Now, is the argument by Boko Haram for an Islamist state legitimate?
I don't think it is legitimate to anybody. It is not feasible. Nigeria, by its founding nature, was never to be a one religious state or to belong to either Muslim or Christianity. If the Christians today were to fight for the whole of Nigeria to be a Christian state, that will not also be feasible. Because by nature, there are two groups that were brought together, to speak in very global terms, two large groups, the Christians and the Muslims, that were brought together to form one state, one in the north, the other in the south. So these were the two regions that were brought together. I don't think there will ever be a time that one of these regions will impose, some sort of a universal religion on the whole country. And I think the beauty of Nigeria is the diversity that they have in religion. So I don't think that Boko Haram will be able to destroy this. The elite, the people of Nigeria, do not want one religion. I think they like the diversity that they currently enjoy.
That was Martin Hewitt from the Institute for Security Studies speaking to us about the latest reported Boko Haram attacks in northern Nigeria ahead of the February elections.